The massive doors of the Galactic Council chamber towered over James Walker as he straightened his blue diplomatic uniform. Earth's first and only ambassador to the stars stood alone, facing the most important moment in human history. The chamber itself was a marvel of alien engineering, with crystalline walls that stretched hundreds of meters high and seats arranged in spiraling tiers that held representatives from over 3,000 alien civilizations. Walker took a deep breath. He knew what was coming. Intelligence reports had already warned him about the Council's attitude toward Earth. To them, humanity was nothing more than a group of primitives who had barely managed to reach their own moon. As he walked toward the speaker's platform, whispers and quiet laughs echoed through the chamber. The aliens didn't even try to hide their amusement. Some pointed their appendages at his simple uniform, while others made jokes about his primitive biological form. The platform rose slowly, lifting Walker to address the gathered representatives. He could see them clearly now, the tall, elegant spacewalkers with their flowing robes, the crystalline beings from the diamond worlds, the energy forms contained in floating metal spheres, and countless other species that made his head spin. Honorable representatives of the Galactic Council, Walker began, his voice clear and strong. I come before you as the representative of Earth and humanity. A burst of laughter interrupted him. A tall, blue-skinned alien stood up, its forearms moving in what Walker recognized as a gesture of dismissal. This primitive speaks as if his world matters, the alien said, its translator making the mockery clear. They haven't even mastered basic fold space travel. They still use chemical rockets. More laughter followed. Walker remained still, his face calm despite the insults. The council leader, a being of pure light contained within an ornate metal frame, raised an appendage for silence. Continue, Earth representative, the leader said, amusement clear in its tone. Tell us why your world deserves a seat at this council. Walker nodded and activated the simple hologram projector he had brought. Images of Earth appeared above him, its cities, forests, oceans, and people. Earth may be young in space travel, he said, but we have something unique to offer. Our world has faced countless challenges, and each time we have adapted and overcome. We have developed not just one path of technology, but many. Another alien, this one covered in metallic scales, interrupted. Your species still fights among itself. You waste resources on multiple competing technologies instead of focusing on the one true path to advancement. Walker didn't flinch. Yes, we have our conflicts. But through them, we have learned to think differently, to find new solutions. We don't rely on a single approach. We explore all possibilities. The chamber erupted in more mockery. Some aliens made sounds that their translators didn't even bother to convert. Walker stood firm, remembering his briefing from Earth Command. They had expected this reaction. It was all part of the plan. Mock us if you wish, Walker said, his voice cutting through the noise. But Earth requests only one thing: observer status. Let us learn from you, and perhaps in time, you might learn something from us. The council leader's light flickered in what might have been amusement. Very well. Earth may have its observer status. It will be entertaining, if nothing else, to watch these primitives tumble through galactic politics. Walker bowed slightly and stepped down from the platform. As he walked out of the chamber, the laughter and jokes continued. But he allowed himself a small smile. They hadn't noticed that he had recorded everything. Every reaction, every piece of technology they carelessly displayed, every weakness in their unified but rigid thinking. Earth had known this would happen. It was exactly what they had planned for. Let the galaxy think humans were primitive. Let them underestimate Earth. Walker's real mission was just beginning. And soon enough, these laughing aliens would learn that humanity's greatest strength lay in being underestimated. The massive doors closed behind him, and Walker touched the hidden communicator in his collar. Phase 1 complete, he whispered. They took the bait, proceeding with Phase 2. For 3 months, James Walker observed the Galactic Council's meetings from the lowest tier, where primitive species were seated. The other observers, mostly from worlds that had just discovered faster-than-light travel, kept their distance from him, not wanting to be associated with the chemical rocket species. But Walker didn't mind. His position gave him the perfect view of everything. Today's session was particularly interesting. The spacewalkers were presenting their latest advancement in fold space technology. As their speaker droned on about improved engine efficiency, Walker noticed something odd. Every single piece of their technology relied on a rare mineral they called star crystal. The same mineral he had seen powering the Diamond World ships and the energy beings' containment spheres. He made another note in his hidden datapad. The aliens were so confident in their superiority that they freely discussed their technological secrets in front of him. After all, what harm could a primitive do with such advanced knowledge? "Ambassador Walker," a mocking voice called out. It was High Commander Brightwing of the Spacewalkers. "Are you taking notes? Perhaps trying to understand concepts far beyond your species' comprehension?" The chamber filled with familiar laughter. Walker smiled politely. "Just admiring your achievements, High Commander. We humans are always eager to learn." "Learn?" Brightwing's feathered crest rose in amusement. "Your species still uses silicon-based computers. You haven't even grasped the basics of quantum computing." Walker nodded humbly, while mentally noting how every advanced race in the chamber used the same type of quantum computer. Not a single one had explored alternative computing methods. Their technology was impressive, but followed a single, unchanging path. During the lunch break, Walker wandered through the Council's Great Hall, observing the various species as they ate, drank, or absorbed energy. He noticed how the spacewalkers couldn't digest solid food, how the Diamond World's people needed specific light frequencies to survive, and how the energy beings became unstable if their containment fields flickered even slightly. Each race had evolved to be perfect in their own way, but that perfection had become a limitation. They had stopped adapting, stopped looking for alternatives. Back in his small quarters that evening, Walker activated his quantum-encrypted communicator, not the fancy alien kind, but a simple Earth-made device that the Council's sensors couldn't detect because they weren't looking for primitive technology. "Report Day 92, he spoke softly. "Confirmed previous observations. The Council races have achieved incredible technological advancement, but they're all dependent on star crystal. They'd eliminated physical currency in favor of energy credits. Their quantum computers all use the same base code. In short, they're all using the same playbook." He paused, looking at his collected data. Most significantly, they've forgotten how to think differently. When faced with a problem, they look for the established solution. They mock Earth for having multiple competing technologies. But that's our greatest strength. We never stopped exploring alternatives. Walker attached his detailed observations about each species' physical limitations and technological dependencies. "Earth Command, I believe we're ready for Phase 3. The Council's unified approach to technology is efficient, but it's also their biggest weakness. They have no backup plans, no alternative methods. They've put all their eggs in one basket, as the old saying goes." He smiled as he sent the encrypted message. Tomorrow, he would return to the Council chamber, endure more mockery, and continue gathering information. Let them laugh. Let them think he was just a primitive taking notes he couldn't understand. The galaxy had forgotten something important. Diversity breeds resilience. Earth, with its primitive mix of technologies and approaches, might seem chaotic and inefficient to these advanced races. But when the crisis came, and Walker knew it would come, that chaos would prove to be humanity's greatest advantage. "End report," he whispered, then destroyed the quantum signature of his transmission. Tomorrow would bring more discoveries, more mockery, and more opportunities to prepare Earth for its moment of revelation. The aliens had no idea what was coming. Their laughter would soon turn to desperation, and Earth would be ready. The emergency alarms in the Galactic Council chamber screamed with an intensity that made even the energy beings flicker with distress, Ambassador Walker sat quietly in his observer's seat, watching the chaos unfold before him. The council leader's light pulsed rapidly as reports flooded in from the outer systems. 3 more colony worlds have gone dark. The defense fleets, they're not responding. Brightwing of the spacewalkers rose from his seat, his feathers ruffled in agitation. Impossible. Our quantum-linked communications network cannot fail. It's perfect. But it had failed. Walker watched as more reports came in. Something was moving through the galaxy, destroying everything in its path. The worst part, no one could even see what was attacking them. "Show the footage again," demanded one of the Diamond World representatives, its crystalline form vibrating with fear. The central hologram activated, displaying scenes from the last attacked world. Everything seemed normal at first. Ships in orbit, defense stations active, the planet's shield barrier humming with energy. Then, without warning, every system went dark. The quantum computers stopped working. The star crystal-powered shields flickered and died. Within minutes, the entire planet's infrastructure collapsed. Walker leaned forward, his eyes narrowing. He had seen something like this before, in Earth's history. Not on this scale, of course, but the pattern was familiar. The council chamber erupted into chaos. Representatives shouted suggestions, all variations of the same solution. More powerful shields, stronger quantum computers, purer star crystal energy sources. But Walker noticed they were all just trying to do the same things, only bigger. "The combined fleet reports complete system failure," announced a junior aide, its tentacles trembling. All ships lost contact simultaneously. Walker stood up. No one noticed at first. He was just the primitive observer after all. But his voice, calm and clear, cut through the panic. "It's an electromagnetic pulse," he said, "combined with quantum field disruption." The chamber fell silent. The council leader turned its brilliant form toward him. "What did you say, Earth representative?" "The attack pattern," Walker continued, pulling up his own notes on his simple tablet. "It's similar to something we discovered on Earth centuries ago. An electromagnetic pulse that disables electronic systems, combined with what looks like targeted quantum field disruption." Brightwing's laugh was more nervous than mocking this time. "Ridiculous. Our systems are far too advanced to be affected by such primitive weapons." "That's exactly the problem," Walker said, walking toward the central platform. No one tried to stop him. "Your systems are advanced, and they all work the same way. One hit takes out everything, because everything is connected through the same quantum network, powered by the same energy source." He reached the platform and activated his tablet's display. It showed ancient Earth military documents, diagrams of EMP weapons, and studies of quantum field theories. On Earth, we learned to protect against these threats because we kept multiple systems running on different principles. When one system fails, others take over. We never stopped using primitive technology alongside advanced ones because diversity means survival. The council leader's light dimmed thoughtfully. "You suggest we should step backward, use lesser technology." "No," Walker said firmly. "I suggest we combine technologies. Earth has been preparing for something like this. We have ships that can run on both quantum and traditional systems. We have weapons that don't rely on star crystal energy. We have computers that can switch between quantum and binary operations." The chamber was silent now, all eyes fixed on the human who no longer seemed so primitive. "The attack is following a pattern," Walker explained. "It's moving system by system, using the quantum network itself to spread. But Earth's ships can track it because we're not fully connected to your network. We can see what you can't." The council leader's light pulsed rapidly. "You knew this might happen." Walker's face remained neutral. "We hoped it wouldn't. But Earth believes in being prepared for everything. That's why we developed every possible type of technology, even the ones you called primitive." The next alarm made the chamber shudder. Another system had gone dark. "The question is," Walker said, looking at each council member, Are you ready to listen to the primitives now? The Galactic Council's emergency session stretched into its 6th hour. The chamber, usually bright with the glow of thousands of advanced beings, was dimmer now. Many representatives had switched off their energy-intensive display systems, a precaution against whatever was attacking them. Walker stood at the central platform, no longer a mocked observer but the focus of desperate attention. Behind him, holographic displays showed the advancing wave of darkness consuming star system after star system. Earth's solution is simple, Walker explained, his voice steady. We fight on multiple fronts, using multiple technologies. We don't rely on a single defense. Simple? Spat Brightwing, though his usual mockery had turned to frustrated fear. You expect us to abandon our advanced systems for your outdated methods. Walker shook his head. Not abandon. Adapt. Look here. He brought up a new display showing Earth's defense plans. We propose a 3-layer defense. First, we disconnect portions of your quantum network, creating isolated segments. The enemy can't corrupt what it can't reach. The council leader's light flickered uncertainly. That would reduce our communication efficiency by 80%. Better than losing it completely, Walker countered. Second, we introduce Earth's hybrid ships. They can switch between your quantum systems and our primitive electronics instantly. When one system is attacked, they switch to the other. A Diamond World representative rose. Our people cannot operate such basic systems. We have evolved beyond such crude interfaces. That's why Earth is offering our military forces, Walker said. 5 fleets already adapted to work with your technology, but capable of operating independently. They're waiting at the edge of your space, ready to deploy. The chamber erupted in surprise murmurs. No one had known Earth had such forces ready. And the 3rd layer? The council leader asked. We fight back, Walker said simply. Earth's scientists have studied your quantum network. We believe the enemy is using it as a highway, traveling through your own communications. We can track them through the disruptions they leave behind, something your pure quantum sensors can't see. He paused, letting the information sink in. But we need full authority to coordinate the defense. Our ships, our commanders, our strategies. The chamber exploded in objections. Give control to primitives. Let Earth command the combined forces of the galaxy. It was unthinkable. Until another alert blared. Central Hub Station is under attack. And 8 shouted. All defenses failing. The Central Hub was only 3 systems away from the Council world itself. Fear replaced anger in the chamber. Walker pressed his advantage. Every minute you delay costs another world. Earth is ready to help, but we do this our way. No more arguments about primitive versus advanced. We use what works. The council leader's light dimmed to almost nothing as it considered. Around the chamber, representatives watched their displays show another world going dark. The council cannot surrender authority, the leader began. Walker cut in. Then consider it a partnership. Your technology, our strategies. Together. More alerts. 2 more systems gone. The enemy was accelerating. The council leader rose higher, its light brightening with decision. Representatives, we will vote. The motion is to accept Earth's assistance and grant them temporary military authority. The vote was quick. Fear proved stronger than pride. Motion carries, the leader announced. Ambassador Walker, you have your authority. Walker didn't smile. He activated his communicator. The simple Earth made one that still worked perfectly. Earth Command, this is Walker. Operation Diversity is approved. Deploy all fleets. He looked up at the gathered representatives, who now watched him with desperate hope instead of mockery. Representatives of the Council, the real work begins now. I need your best people, not your most advanced, your best. Those who can think differently, adapt, and aren't afraid to try new things. As the Council scrambled to comply, Walker allowed himself a small moment of satisfaction. Earth had prepared for years for something like this, developing technologies the Council had laughed at. Now those same primitive solutions would save the galaxy. The question was, would the Council learn from this, or would they return to their old ways once the crisis passed? Only time would tell. The massive war room beneath the Galactic Council chamber hummed with a mix of advanced quantum displays and what the aliens considered primitive technology. Earth's combat coordinators worked alongside Council technicians, creating a defense network unlike anything the galaxy had seen before. Walker stood at the central command station, watching as the first wave of Earth's ships emerged from hyperspace. The alien representatives gasped at what they saw. "Those vessels," Brightwing said, his feathers twitching in disbelief. "They're so different from each other." Indeed, Earth's fleet was a mix of ship designs. Some gleamed with advanced quantum shielding, while others appeared almost crude with their thick armor plating. Each ship carried both star crystal and conventional power systems. "First wave deploying to Sector 7, announced Captain Rogers from the lead ship, switching to hybrid combat mode. The Council representatives watched in amazement as Earth's ships engaged the enemy. When quantum systems failed, the ships instantly switched to conventional electronics. When those were attacked, they switched back. The enemy couldn't disable them because they never knew what they were fighting. "Look there," Walker pointed to a tactical display. "The enemy's pattern is changing. They're trying to adapt to our shifts, but they can't predict which technology we'll use next." A Diamond World technician studied the readings. "These Earth ships, they're using our quantum cannons, but they've modified them to work with their own targeting systems. It's not elegant, but it's effective." "Elegant doesn't matter," Walker replied. "Survival does." Reports began flowing in from across the battlefield. Earth's hybrid fighters were pushing the enemy back. When one approach failed, they simply tried another. The aliens watched in wonder as human crews switched seamlessly between advanced and basic systems, never staying with one technology long enough to become vulnerable. "Second wave, deploy the pulse bombs," Walker ordered. Small, seemingly primitive missiles launched from Earth's ships. The Council representatives scoffed at first, until they saw what happened. The bombs detonated in space, releasing both electromagnetic and quantum pulses. Enemy ships, caught between the two types of energy, became visible for the first time. "They're machines," the Council leader observed, its light pulsing with surprise. "But like nothing we've ever seen." Walker nodded. "They evolved just like you did, becoming more and more advanced. But they followed the same path. All quantum, all connected. That's why they never expected anyone to use older technology against them." Earth's ships pressed their advantage. Some fired advanced quantum weapons, while others used simple kinetic rounds. The enemy couldn't adapt to both at once. For the first time since the crisis began, the galaxy's attackers were retreating. President of Earth, the Council leader addressed the human leader who had just appeared on the main screen. "We owe you an apology. We called your methods primitive, but we were wrong." The president smiled. "No apology needed. This is why humanity maintains its diversity of technology. We never know which solution will be needed." As they spoke, more Earth ships arrived. Each wave brought new combinations of technology, new ways of fighting. The enemy, for all its advanced intelligence, couldn't predict what Earth would try next. "Multiple enemy ships retreating from Sector 9, reported a human commander. "They can't handle the variable attack patterns." Walker allowed himself a small smile. The Council members who had once mocked Earth's primitive ways were now taking notes, studying how human crews combined technologies that they had thought couldn't work together. "Tell me, Ambassador," Brightwing said quietly, his earlier arrogance gone. "Did Earth know this kind of attack might come? Is that why you kept all these different technologies?" Walker watched another group of enemy ships flee from Earth's hybrid fighters. "We didn't know what would come. We just knew that depending on a single path, no matter how advanced, was dangerous. The universe is too big, too unpredictable, to think there's only one right way to do things." The battle continued, But its outcome was no longer in doubt. Earth's primitive wisdom was saving the galaxy, one hybrid attack at a time. The massive screens in the Council's war room displayed dozens of battles unfolding across the galaxy. Earth's ships, now joined by modified alien vessels, pushed steadily forward against the retreating enemy. What had seemed like an unstoppable force just days ago was now being systematically driven back by humanity's unconventional tactics. Walker studied a holographic display showing the latest battle reports. "Commence Operation Mixed Strike," he ordered. The Council members watched in awe as Earth unveiled its latest strategy. Small, agile fighters launched from the larger ships, but these weren't the advanced craft the aliens expected. Some were clearly built with quantum technology, while others appeared to use simple chemical engines. "That's insane," Brightwing protested. "Those basic fighters will be destroyed instantly." But he was wrong. As the enemy focused their quantum disruption weapons on the advanced fighters, the primitive craft slipped through their defenses. While the enemy tried to adapt, the advanced fighters would switch to backup systems and attack from another angle. "Your warriors," the Council leader observed, its light pulsed with admiration. "They switch between technologies as easily as breathing. How is this possible?" Walker gestured to a nearby human pilot who had just returned from battle. "Show them," he said. The pilot pulled out what looked like an ancient paper notebook. Inside were handwritten notes and diagrams. "We train in everything," she explained. "One day quantum systems, the next day basic electronics. If one system fails, we switch to another. No dependence on any single technology." A massive explosion lit up the tactical display. One of the enemy's main command ships had been destroyed by a combination of quantum torpedoes and simple kinetic weapons. The aliens couldn't defend against both at once. "Fourth Fleet reports the enemy is retreating from the core systems," announced a human commander. "They can't maintain their network connection while defending against our mixed attacks." The Council chamber, once filled with mockery toward Earth's primitive ways, now buzzed with excitement as representatives studied human battle tactics. They watched in amazement as Earth's crews seamlessly combined technologies that the aliens had thought were incompatible. "Look there," a Diamond World technician pointed to a new display. "They're using our quantum communications network, but they've backed it up with their old radio systems. When the enemy disrupts one, they instantly switch to the other." Walker nodded. "Never put all your trust in one system, no matter how advanced it seems. That's humanity's first rule of warfare." The tactical displays showed more enemy ships fleeing. They had evolved to be perfect in their chosen path of technology, but that perfection had become their weakness. They couldn't adapt to Earth's constantly changing tactics. "All fleets, execute final protocol," Walker commanded. The Council members watched as Earth's ships launched what looked like clouds of small metallic objects. "What are those?" Brightwing asked, his earlier skepticism replaced by genuine curiosity. "Simple computers," Walker explained. "Millions of them, each running different operating systems, different protocols. They're creating a chaotic network that the enemy can't predict or control." The effect was devastating. The enemy ships, unable to process or adapt to the flood of varying signals, began shutting down. Their perfect quantum systems, faced with too many different types of input, failed. Victory in Sector 12. Enemy retreating from Sector 7. Core systems secured. The reports kept coming. Humanity's hybrid warfare was working. The enemy that had seemed invincible against the most advanced quantum weapons was being defeated by a combination of technologies, both old and new. The Council leader turned to Walker, its light glowing brightly. "Today, humanity has taught us all a valuable lesson. We thought advancement meant leaving the past behind, but you showed us that true strength lies in embracing all possibilities." Walker watched as another enemy command ship fell to Earth's combined assault. "The galaxy is too vast, too unpredictable, to rely on just one way of doing things," he said. "Sometimes the old ways work best. Sometimes the new ways do." True wisdom is knowing how to use both. The war wasn't over, but its outcome was now certain. Earth's primitive wisdom had changed the course of galactic history. The Galactic Council chamber looked very different now. Where once pure quantum technology had dominated, now hybrid systems hummed throughout the room. Earth's influence could be seen everywhere, from the backup power systems to the mixed technology communication arrays. James Walker stood at the central platform, but this time not as a mocked observer. He wore the newly created rank insignia of Supreme Defense Coordinator of the Galactic Alliance. The same representatives who had once laughed at humanity's primitive ways now waited eagerly for his speech. 1 month has passed since the last enemy ship fled from our space, Walker began. Thanks to the combined efforts of Earth's forces and our galactic allies, we achieved what seemed impossible. But our real work is just beginning. The Council leader's light pulsed in agreement. Earth has proven that the path forward isn't just about advancing in one direction. It's about maintaining diversity in our approaches. Around the chamber, representatives nodded or made their species equivalent gestures of agreement. Many of them had already begun implementing Earth's hybrid technology systems on their worlds. The enemy made one critical mistake, Walker continued. They believed, as many of you once did, that there was only one correct path to advancement. They evolved their technology to perfection but lost the ability to adapt. Brightwing, his feathers now decorated with Earth military honors, stood up. My people have already begun training our young in multiple technological systems. We will not make the same mistake again. Walker activated the central display, showing the new defense network being built across the galaxy. It was a beautiful mix of advanced quantum systems and simpler, reliable technologies working together. Earth is not here to replace your ways, Walker assured them. We're here to add to them. Each of our species has unique strengths. Combined, we are stronger than we could ever be alone. The Diamond World representative raised its crystalline form. We wish to propose something unprecedented. We ask that Earth establish training academies throughout the galaxy, teaching your methods of adaptive thinking and hybrid technology. Murmurs of approval echoed through the chamber. The same races that had once looked down on humanity now sought to learn from them. There's more, the Council leader announced. The Council has voted unanimously to relocate our headquarters to Earth. Your world's diversity, not just in technology, but in thought and approach, makes it the perfect center for our new alliance. Walker looked around the chamber, remembering how different it had felt when he first arrived. The mockery, the dismissal, the absolute certainty that advanced meant better. Now these same beings understood that true advancement meant keeping all options open. Earth accepts these honors, Walker said, but with a condition. We must all remember the lesson we learned. No matter how advanced we become, we must never stop exploring alternatives. Never stop questioning. Never believe that any single path is the only right one. The Council erupted in applause and various alien expressions of approval. Across the galaxy, ships of all designs patrolled together. Quantum computers worked alongside simple electronic systems. Advanced beings learned to appreciate what they had once called primitive. And what of the enemy? Someone asked. Walker smiled. We're tracking them. They're trying to adapt, to learn from their defeat. And when they return, if they return, they'll find a galaxy ready to face them with every tool, every technology, every strategy we have, united not in uniformity, but in diversity. As the session ended, representatives approached Walker not with mockery but with respect. Earth had saved them not by being more advanced, but by being more adaptable. By keeping what worked alongside what was new. By refusing to believe that progress meant abandoning the past. The galaxy had learned its lesson. The future belonged not to those who pursued a single path to perfection, but to those who kept all paths open. Humanity's primitive wisdom had become the galaxy's greatest strength. And somewhere out in space, Earth's hybrid ships patrolled alongside their alien allies, ready for whatever the universe might bring next.